Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to my channel. And I did a really stupid thing that I'm sure all content creators can relate to. I recorded this video about an hour ago and realized that even though the audio was going, because I record audio and the video separately, so you get a better sound quality, I realized that I did not press the record button for the visual part. The audio is there, but there is no visual. And it is 20 minutes, and I do not feel like reshooting it because I do not feel like I will be able to convey the level of intensity in my voice as I did when I recorded it the first time. So just a heads up, the next part will be strictly audio, and then you can come back and hear my thoughts at the end. Today we're going to be talking about this piece of shit right here, Daniel Cameron. Now, why does it matter so much? Why do I think he's a piece of shit? It's because he is the Attorney General for the state of Kentucky, and he did not do his job properly. And I am baffled as to why he still has a job, let alone why he's still a lawyer. Now, if you don't know what I mean by this, I'll give you a brief summary. On March 13th of 2020, Brianna Taylor, which I hope most people know by now, was fatally shot in her apartment in Louisville, Kentucky, when three plainclothed white officers forced their way into her apartment because they had a warrant for suspected drug paraphernalia being used or being facilitated in and out of their home, which was not true, number one. And number two, the house that they should have gone to was actually 10 miles away. So fast forward to July of 2020, there were no charges brought against the three officers that shot Brianna Taylor. They fired 32 rounds into her house, and they found, I believe, 5 or 6 bullets in her body in general. Then they arrested her boyfriend all the same night. He was later released, thank God. Now, I'm not going to get into the legalities of the case just because I'm not good at relaying those messages to you. I have left information in the description so you all can read it for yourselves. Hopefully you guys will understand all that legal stuff better than I do. But what I do understand is that when this case went to a grand jury, they only indicted one of the officers. The other two got off scot-free, and they only indicted one of the officers, not for killing her, but something called wanton endangerment. That basically means that he was charged with disturbing the other neighbors that heard this entire fiasco. So he doesn't get charged with murdering Brianna. He gets charged with disturbing the peace and making the other neighbors in the apartment upset, which honestly I think that's a good thing, but also that should be one of the charges along with murder. The reason why I'm so upset at Daniel Cameron is because when the grand jury came back and they only charged the officer with wanton endangerment, there was an uproar. People, like the rest of us, were wondering why they weren't charged with murder. Fast forward, we find out that Daniel Cameron, the AG, did not put murder on the table as an option for this police officer. He only did just enough to say there was a child, but he did everything he could to get the cops off as much as possible. And the only reason why we know this is because a couple of the people on the grand jury said, well, hold on, wait a minute. We didn't know murder was on the table. We didn't know that this could be a thing. We were only presented with so much information. And I'm sitting here like, how dare you, Daniel? How dare you sit here and only give so much information? You don't even put murder on the table as somebody who's supposed to uphold the law. And as a black man, I do not understand why he seems to have no conscience about what he's done. Let's even take away the equation that he's a black man. He lied, plain and simple. He withheld information. What he did, in my opinion, is wrong. And the fact that he's still standing and is still a lawyer and is still the AG says a lot about our country and says a lot about the deep racism that still goes on in this country. The other thing I want to point out is as I was doing research about this, about him, Daniel Cameron, I found out that months prior to this whole Brianna Taylor murder, he tried to wage a war against his own governor. At the beginning of this pandemic, he wanted to halt all abortions in the state of Kentucky because he said he needed to protect the lives of the unborn children. Everyone said, hell no, we should do what we want. He essentially made it so that you could not get an abortion until this whole COVID thing is over. The governor vetoed it, thank God, which means he overturned Daniel Cameron's decision so that people can do whatever they want with their bodies, when and how. Cameron decides to say to the governor, how dare you tell me this? And he decides that he's going to take this thing all the way to the Supreme Court. Thank God the Supreme Court said, no, we're not doing that. But this is even before the Brianna Taylor trial. I believe the governor of Kentucky at the time called him reckless and just an all-around terrible human being. So like I said, this is before Brianna Taylor, this whole abortion thing. Then on top of it, we get to the trial and how he didn't do his due diligence. Why is he still in office? Why does he still have power? Along with my research, I found out that there's been a petition to get Cameron impeached. And unfortunately, the impeachment trial did not go through. Whomever tried the case said that the evidence against him was unfounded and that they cannot impeach him for how he handled the Brianna Taylor case. Why can he not be impeached? He withheld information. Several news sources, his own people admitted that he lied, but he's still the AG. So here is my message to you all. If you live in Kentucky and you watch my channel, if anywhere nationwide, we need to make more noise and we need to pressure this Daniel Cameron to be fired from his job. He is a piece of shit. He does not deserve to hold any sort of public office because he is a liar. And he seems to not care that this young woman was killed. Daniel, I think you're a terrible person. I think you've sold out your race to get ahead in life. And the fact that Mitch McConnell is the one that recommended you to be AG says a whole lot about your personality. I hope you lose your job. I hope that all your white friends drop you the moment that they find out you're of no use to them. And I just want you to live a miserable life. I think you deserve to lose everything, and I hope you do. You might be asking yourself, what does this Daniel Cameron have to do with being just jazz? As a black woman living in America, it is my right, and I feel like it is my duty to tell you all how I feel when I feel like my race is being persecuted, punished, however you want to say it. I've never been really good at conveying certain thoughts. I've never really been good at arguing the points. Like, I have everything in my head what I want to say, but then it just doesn't come out. I've never been good at it. So I try to stay away from topics like this just because I don't want to seem like I am not intelligent. But I do feel things, and I feel like the fact that she was murdered is just egregious. I'm beyond the point of heartbroken. We're getting killed each and every day, it seems like, and there is barely any accountability. And I don't know what the answer is. I can only do but so much, and I feel like just expressing how angry I am is what I can do. Sometimes I feel guilty and wish I could do more, but this is what I can do. I often tell myself, if it wasn't for me being in this wheelchair and having the disabilities that I do, I could be any other casualty out there because I am just a black person. It breaks my heart to say this, but I believe that one of the only reasons why I'm still standing is one, because God's got my back, and number two, I am disabled, and no one wants that on them. Alright, so those were my thoughts on this terrible individual. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, sorry about the audio, or the visual part. It's just, one of these days, I'll get it right. It's only been 5 years. Anyway, thank you all for listening. If you like my content and you like what I do, please subscribe to the channel. And if you can afford it, please head on over to my Patreon. The link is in the description below, where you can become a patron for as low as $1 tier all the way up to $50. $15, depending on what your heart desires. And if you can't, just a subscription on YouTube is good enough for me. With that said, have a wonderful day. You will see me tomorrow. God bless.